Nighttime has fallen at the palatial castle of Count Pedestrian III, and his colleague, Dr. Jacqueline Reed-Sommer, has arrived at the castle to deliver some very important information to the Count.
Good evening, Count Pedestrian. I suppose you have been watching all the television coverage of the Senate hearings over in the States, Count Pedestrian. You realize, of course, that at some point our dear Dr. Gitterick may crack. He may cave in and confess that you were the secret financial backer for the biotech lab and for the creation of Flashy the paper doll and wood pulp.
Nonsense, my dear Jacqueline. He will not cave in. He can be trusted. I assure you that Dr. Gitterick is extremely trustworthy. It will remain a secret. Otherwise, I would not have entrusted him to such an important venture. The creation of a new life form. Flashy the paper doll and wood pulp boy. There is so much at stake. So much at stake. You've got to understand this, Dr. Reed-Sommer. You must understand that I trust in Dr. Gitterick is implicit. I remain entrusted to him. I do not believe he will cave in to this evil Senator Devane. But I do, of course, want to thank you for bringing it to my attention. And yes, I have been watching the television coverage, of course. Again, thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you.
Hello, dear people. You are apparently an Indian tribe of some kind. Yes, you are absolutely correct. You should kneel down and worship me. I am a superior being to you humans. Yes, you may regard Flashy and I both as gods. You would do very well to do exactly that. You will do our bidding and you will obey our commands.
Woody,
you will serve
what
us.
you are doing is not right. You cannot make these humans your servants. We were not created to be their masters. You cannot make these Indians into our servants and slaves. It just is not right, Woody.
Flashy,
It just is
Flashy,
not right.
Flashy. How totally naive you are, my sweet little paper doll sweetheart. These humans you have such misguided compassion towards would easily destroy both of us. Did we not flee Murgatroyd City to escape them? Trust me, whoever these Indians are, they are willing to worship us as gods and I intend to see to it that they do, my darling. To quote a phrase from our human creators, you need to get with the program, my sweet. We shall rule,
My dear
for we are
Woody,
superior.
Woody. We do not even know where we are or how we got here. We came through the undulating energy field and suddenly there's this Indian tribe here in the woods. They call themselves the Tuwakanani. That is all that we know. We must find out where we are. Yes, we must.
Hey mom. You remember that bookstore in Flat Town that we went to last week, Mom? You know, the one with the art painted on the side of the building? Well, anyway, please take me back there. I saw a drawing of Flashy the paper doll in a book there, a drawing that was done way back in the 1600s by that Indian tribe the Tuwakanani. Please take me back there so I can find it.
Oh,
Please,
no.
Mom.
Now,
Please,
Timmy, you silly little red-headed stepchild skateboarder. You have way too active of an imagination, my son. That and you are spending way too much time in Dead Center Park on that dadgum skateboard. You should spend more time cracking open your history book and less time skateboarding. There is no possible way that you have seen a drawing of Flashy the paper doll from the late 1600s done by the two Wakanani Indians. To begin with, I teach high school history, as you know, my child, and by 1661 the nearby white settlers, those religious fanatics, had attacked and wiped out that entire tribe. In fact, history records that it was a virtual massacre where they slaughtered the men, women, and children. It is a dark stain on the history of Murgatroyd and Flat Town. A very sad day in the history of this area. But, yes, my son, if you insist, I will take you back to that bookstore. At least you are interested in reading a book for a change, instead of spending your life on that dadgum skateboard.
Good evening, this is Les Tomac, and tonight we bring you on our Retro series, the Retro Show from originally aired on October 10th, 2015, less than 2 weeks after Apron Head had burned down the paper doll factory and killed the factory owner and himself. And on this episode we had Dr. Derrickson, whom you may recall was Apron Head's psychiatrist. So we're going to go straight to that show. Once again, we see what a sad devil to which the media have sunk in venerating and eulogizing an obviously deranged psychopath who is responsible not only for his own death, the death of the very company president who marketed Apron Head's paper doll, and the destruction of the very factory which produced the ghastly little thing. The entire catastrophe was one great self-destructive act which reveals how sick and abominable Apron Head really was. Certainly not a role model for healthy children. Which brings us to the dreadful invention which the media claims is at least indirectly responsible for all of this. The official version holds that Apron Head felt betrayed and sold out when his androgynous little paper doll Flashy was sold to the Japanese. I say, so what? That's just supply-demand capitalism at its best. If the Japanese can build a better paper doll, then I say more power to them. And then, of course, there's my colleague, Dr. Getrick, who actually has created a living, breathing paper doll, Flashy the paper doll, and I'm sure you've been seeing the reports around town where she's been popping up, being chased by an insane clown. But let's look a bit deeper at the societal implications of Flashy. Both the paper doll item that the children bought as well as this creature walking around. By marketing her to boys and girls alike, Apron Head destroyed traditional family values. The awful prospect of little boys playing with paper dolls leads one to realize that 20 years from now we'll end up with more of the effeminate cowards that Imogene Slakowski so aptly describes in her wonderful book, The Ineffectual Male. In the end, Apron Head's demise should not be venerated. It should be celebrated. And Les Tomac, I want to thank you for having me on your show tonight.
It is the year 1659 in ancient Murgatroyd. Somehow, I, Flashy the paper doll and Wood Pulp Boy my hero and companion, find ourselves taken back 350 years into the past. A past where a small group of religious fanatics have settled and created the village that will eventually be called Flat Town. We are guests of the two Wakanani Indian tribe, a primitive American Indian tribe who are not only showing us tremendous hospitality, but they also regard us as gods, as superior beings. And so I try desperately to fall asleep in this small teepee while Wood Pulp Boy has already fallen
We're
asleep.
coming for you, Flashy. We'll get 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 you, Flashy.
We hereby declare that thou art an instrument of the devil, a very creature and tool of Satan himself, and we condemn thee to be burned at the stake to destroy this evil work of the devil which thou art. Thou shalt be burned at daybreak by the divine will of God.
Welcome to Opinion Radio, where you can call in with your opinions. And we have a caller on line 1.
Yeah, it's Uncle Frank again, y'all. Used to me calling in. I call in with my opinion a lot. Anyhow, you know, they hadn't found Flashy Paper Doll, all that wooden thing for days now, and you know, that old senator on TV with Tim Heron said she couldn't have just dropped off the face of the earth. They think Dr. Getrick must be hiding her and that wooden thing out somewhere. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to tell y'all something that I ain't never told anybody else before, but I feel like going ahead and talking about this, especially now that they can't find her and they don't know where she is, and there ain't no telling where she's at. Anyhow, one of those days when we was out driving around, me and Aunt Susie, we got us a double over at the Drifties, you know, and we seen this time we seen that clown chasing her, and instead of a pair of scissors, he had a staple gun with him. And well, Flashy ran off into Dead Center Park, and she got her foot caught in one of them bushes, and it tore part of her foot, you know. And she was stuck there, and this clown was catching up with her. And Aunt Suki said, "Frank, you got to help her. You got to get out and help her." And I said, "No, we don't want to get involved." But she kept on, and I felt sorry for Flashy. Anyhow, I went ahead and I got out, and I happened to just have a roll of Scotch tape there in the car. And so I went over there, and I was able to get her foot tapes back together, you know, and what have you. And that clown was getting closer, and I thought, well, I sure don't want him to go after me with that staple gun. But anyhow, once I made sure Flashy's foot was taped back on, I let her take off, and I mean, she ran as fast as you can get. And I seen the cloud coming. I got back in the truck, and me and Suki took off, and we left. And I'll tell you what, it wasn't a week later, and we was over there at Dead Center Park, and that clown hung himself on the statue. You know, I called in about that when that happened. Anyway, that's what I got to say tonight. This is Uncle Frank, and thank you.
August 14th, 1969 episode of The Les Tomac Show, with special guests Vincent Vincini, the founder and owner of Vincini Cosmetics, and his young daughter Judy, the NASA Babes, with their tribute song to the Apollo 11 moon landing astronauts, and the new young minister Dr. Hubert Slokowski, who recently founded the Divine Humanity Church in Murgatroyd City. Enjoy today's show, and remember to stay close to your telephone when Les Tomac does the exciting random phone call to a viewer, the segment where he will talk with one of our viewers at home, chosen at random, and your voice will actually air during the show. And here comes Les Tomac now, ladies.
Little Judy. She like to put a little bit of her Play-Doh into the jar of Vincini face cream. And sometime she like to put a little bit of sand, off into the jar of Vincini face crema, She always liked to add something to the face.
Sweepstakes. Peel a label off the new Vincini Ultra Deluxe Triple Star Italian Salad Dressing and you could win a trip to see Sophia Loren in Rome, Italy. You will stop off near the island of Scorpios near Greece and have dinner with Jackie O and Aristotle Onassis. Then you will dine on pizza nearing the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Send your Vincini labels here, with your name and address filled out on them, to the Les Tomac Show at CRZY TV station, where every single day Les Tomac will spin the hopper and draw one lucky winning name from the hopper.